Okay, done with my second set. Started off with weights and just, as I said, just dressed down. Um, I guess again, story time. This one is not the full story because of the fact that it would be very, very long, and I don't want it to be as long as the other one, so I'm gonna cut to the chase. This one was in recent times, and I'll tell you the reasoning because I knew the reasoning after some time. It didn't take very long for me to figure this out. Basically, I had a TDO, emergency custody order put out on me, or a temporary custody order. Acronyms confused. Military times kind of wore me out when it came down to acronyms, so I know them, I understand what they mean, but at the time I don't remember them well. But basically, someone for the normal situation, if you were in a mental health situation, um, depending on who may have been told by you or someone else, you could have an emergency order put on you, and thus the police will come. And they say, I don't even know what this procedure really is anymore, because at first I thought they would just evaluate to make sure you really are, well and safe, and then they would just leave it alone if they could confirm properly, like, okay, well, this person clearly isn't going to do anything, so leave it as is. It's maybe misunderstanding or something. No, no, no. The first visitation seems like it's more like a touch base, and then the secondary one is just immediately they take you out your home. It doesn't really matter what you said during the first meeting or the second meeting. It almost seems like they want to confirm that you're at that location so they can come back with more people in case you try to fight back, so that they can just take you from home, which generally I would agree with, only because of the fact if you do find real rhyme and reason that this person is not well, then I can get behind that because it makes sense. You don't want a situation, a bad critical situation happening because of that. But that's the thing about, a crisis is basically what they look for, a crisis. And a crisis tends to be something immediate. Like, weather reports don't tell you, oh, next week's a tornado. It's a crisis. It's like, no, it's not a crisis. It's a coming crisis, yes, but it's not there. It's not immediate. So people aren't going to just run and scream throughout the streets for a whole week because they know a tornado more than likely is going to come. No. So for my situation, I was kicking my sister out of my apartment because she didn't pay rent. I gave her, like, I don't know, 2 months of free living without having to worry about money or anything. Bought her 2 phones. She just never got a job. And the rent I kept was low because I remember correctly, I made it like $150 per month. And I was just like, yeah, and when you get a job, you can then pay, because the whole idea is I want you to get out eventually. I want you to leave. But basically, when it came more and more clear that was not the case, she wasn't gonna get better. She wasn't gonna try and actually do anything. I was like, okay, you gotta get out. That's it. Because the only thing you're doing is arguing with me, and then being gone for X name out of days, so you're not even clean. And which was one of the deals. Is like, yeah, if you're gonna live here for free, you might as well clean. You might as well do something. You're near 30 years old. Like, you're in your mid-20s. You're over your mid-20s at this point. I don't care. Apparently, people in the police department really cared. They really cared that I was kicking out my near 30-year-old sister of my apartment because I couldn't stand having her in my apartment, and she had a boyfriend. So I was like, just go with him. I'm your brother. I don't go with your boyfriend. Why would you want to live with your brother for all your life? What girl wants to live that life? Well, clearly she did it because she was barely ever here. She only used my apartment as her little spot to just sit after I don't know what she would be doing at night. Kick her out. Got a new roommate within that time period because someone else was desperate. So I let him have the room because I was like, it'd be nice if someone actually paid rent. But my sister came back to pick up some things. She made a commotion about it. And next thing you know, I'm calling the police because I'm like, I don't really want to deal with this. And it's in my home. I don't want to deal with this. The police act like as if because she ran out before they even showed up, because there's always that massive amount of delay before they actually show up. So she just ran out because she knew if she runs out there, she's good, because they're not going to be looking for her. They're going to be just looking at me because I'm here. So they checked my home, which is funny because it's like, it's funny how like I'm the one calling the police, but I'm the one getting searched, as if someone called the police on me, and being treated as if in my own home, as if I'm a criminal in my own home for kicking someone out. Now, I wouldn't be getting so in depth with this if it wasn't for the fact that clearly they didn't like the fact that they couldn't arrest me for anything in that moment. They couldn't arrest me in my own home that I pay for and everything, and that I can kick people out of at my own volition. And which, hell, if any local police or even watchers, some of them even have been here to help me kick someone out. So yeah, that last roommate, he's out too. Because guess what? Didn't want to pay rent, so forget him. Didn't want to listen either. Didn't want to. He got out in a week. My sister had 2 months. He was in within a week. So when they, which is funny because the week of me getting him kicked, like within that time span of me calling the police on my sister, and then getting the police to kick the other guy out, that was just a week. And then the police show up again, and this is like, all right, I'm really dealing with some hard finances now, but I'm finally kind of getting my mind clear for once after 7 years. I'm finally feeling better. It took 2 years to really recover from the 5 years of just surviving, and then the 3 years of the Marine Corps and just dealing with that. And then before the Marine Corps, surviving. So it was just like, oh, I'm able to